Well, good morning, good people. Marco's here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's having a great day. It is Taco Tuesday, and this is day number 2 of practices, because we sitting here talking about practice. Yeah, but then come Sunday, we'll be talking about the preseason game. And I have to say, this has been an incredible experience. I could go home right now and say it was worth the trip. It is 6 a.m. here on the West Coast. And of course, I'm still on East Coast time, so I'm wide awake. My wife and kids there, still sleeping stuff. The sun has yet to come up here yet. And I'm just so excited about being here and wanting to bring you guys as much content as possible. Yesterday was great. We got a chance to see the defensive stuff, defensive linemen and things work, and see the change of philosophy. I believe this is my belief. Okay. Sometimes you have something that's right for right now, but it's not for the long term. Sometimes when you break up with somebody, you don't necessarily, after somebody's broken up in a long-term relationship, you don't want to be the next guy up, because you are kind of the fill-in guy. You're the guy to get them over the hump of that breakup, but you're not the long-term guy. And so when the Cowboys started all over Mike McCarthy and things, and he brought in Mike Nolan. Mike Nolan was so bad. It was such a bad relationship. That hurt me to my soul, literally watching players that did not know the basics. For example, pursuit angles, okay? Pursuit angles are like skeet shooting. If you're skeet shooting, if you've ever had a shotgun and you're shooting the clay pigeons, you're not shooting for where they are. You're shooting for where they're going to be, okay? And so we used to do a drill at JMU, pursuit angles. And basically, depending on where you were on the line, the further out on the line you were, the flatter your trajectory was. Unfortunately, being a one technique guy, we had the longest one because, one, you're fat and slow, but two, you have the farthest route to go. So if the guy is running out here and going up the field, you want to find the mesh point of where they're going to be. If you are running towards where he is now, you're going to miss him. And there was a play against Cleveland. Oh my God. At the end of the game, and I can see this play. Oh, geez. When Odell Beckham, they did the reverse. And Aldon Smith should have had him in the backfield. He should have had him in the backfield. He missed that tackle. But he's just going down the sidelines. And the pursuit angles, there were two guys that literally ran out of bounds in front of him. And everybody's pursuit angle, even Jalen Smith, was kind of like this banana route, okay? The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. And I'm looking at this, and I'm just like, they don't know the fundamentals. It was just bad. That was the defense of the Dallas Cowboys that gave up more points than anybody else. So anybody coming in that was not Mike Nolan was going to be better. And Dan Quinn was the right guy to come in at that time. He came in because players were completely confused between a 4-3 and a 3-4 and the hybrid and everything else, because we literally heard the players, Jalen Smith, it's too complex. We're lost. He had lost the players in the locker room and everything. Dan Quinn, as Micah Parsons put it, is like that uncle, you know, that mentor uncle and things, that best buddy. And he got them to get confidence. He ended up getting Al Harrison here, which is probably the best hire on the defense that we had. They ended up being taught Dan Quinn, if they didn't understand it or it was too complex, they'd take it out the playbook. And that evolved the defense from being this completely lost child to now understanding. The problem with that is, and this may be because of the Joneses, I don't know, but the discipline is where it was lost. When we would have guys like Randy Gregory, who, it's cold out here, guys. Damn, I should have brought the blanket out here. I used to always think that, you know, the Pacific Coast is, you know, hot and, you know, and it's warm and you're always in the ocean and stuff. I don't ever remember warm water at the beach in California. In fact, that water's cold. I guess it's because of the Gulf Stream in Mexico going up the East Coast and things, that the ocean is warmer. But damn, it's like it's piss warm there. Here it's cold. Anyway, I think Mike Nolan just really set the Cowboys defense on that bad path. Dan Quinn became the best friend for the players and got them going. But you'd have guys like Randy Gregory who would make boneheaded mistakes and stuff, right? You know, hit the quarterback late or hit him in the knees or roughing the passer or tackling offensive linemen. That cost us. And discipline wasn't there. So we went from an undisciplined, uneducated defense to Dan Quinn educating them. The next evolution needs to be accountability. Accountability and taking them to another level. Maybe Dan Quinn was failed because he didn't have linebackers or he couldn't get all of the things that he wanted to maximize the defense. I don't know. But what I saw with Mike Zimmer yesterday, teaching the guys, the defensive linemen, that will be more physical. They will be more physical. Teaching them more of the subtle hand movements, the punch in the chest, okay? The punch in the club, okay? This is how you get free. I call it shock and awe. You shock them with the punch, okay? And then you club them. And that gets that shoulder. They get rocked and turned, okay? If you can rock and turn an offensive lineman, you've won the battle. Teaching them the different moves, teaching them how to keep their body with balance and be able to get the offensive lineman out of balance. That is the subtleties that need to go on. And Mike Zimmer being that guy that's going to be on the sidelines, that will be putting foot in asses, will be really good, I think, for this Dallas Cowboys team. And I look forward to it growing. But you know what's funny? This is the polar opposite. The polar opposite. I get it. I get it. I'm a Dak Prescott fan. I'm not going to lie and say I'm not. It was 8 years ago. 8 years ago, I was doing YouTube and nobody was watching. Nobody. Nobody. Had a couple hundred people subscribing. Had the channel for 4 years. So for all of you people out there who are sitting there saying, well, it's taken so long for my channel to grow, I was doing it for 8 years. Excuse me, 4 years, and only had a couple hundred subscribers. But I will remember, I'm not the college guy, that's Vosh. That's, you know, Skywalker Steel and everything else. But I remember because the Cowboys were the coaching staff for the Senior Bowl. And I know I'm an old man telling stories and go off in tangents and stuff. That's what you get here. I'm an old man who's telling stories going off in a tangent. If you don't understand that by now, then maybe you're the one with dementia. But I was watching that because the rumors were that the Cowboys might be interested in drafting Carson Wentz. And so I wanted to see what this guy Carson Wentz was from North Dakota State. And I watched it, and I looked at Dak Prescott, and I said, I never heard of this guy. To me, he outplayed Carson Wentz. And so I started looking at some of the tape of him from Mississippi State, and I said, wow. I said, wait a minute. Carson Wentz played in Division 1AA, North Dakota State. How many people does their division put into the NFL? 3 or 4? Okay. Then I looked at Dak Prescott going to Mississippi State, playing in the Southeast Conference, a conference that puts like 50 plus players in the NFL every year. Not on a football powerhouse. And he's got his team to #1 for a few weeks. I said, wait a minute. And I started looking and saying, this guy ain't got nobody around him. His class, his offense, he was drafted in the 4th round and his tight end was drafted in the 6th. And I'm saying, he's playing against the best of the best. And I did a video that said, Dak Prescott is the perfect quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. With Joe Boo, because that's where I was. Joe Boo. And guess what? Nobody watched it. Nobody watched it. Until Tony Romo got hurt, and then everybody wanted to know about Dak Prescott. Who's this guy who's now going to be leading the Cowboys? And people finally started watching it. And they said, wait a minute, this guy said, that guy? Maybe I'll check him out. And by that October, I hit my first 1,000 subscribers on my old channel that got deleted. So yes, I am thankful for Dak Prescott. I am very proud of what Dak Prescott has done. That Dak Prescott is on the precipice of getting every Cowboys passing record there is. Now, what he needs is to get that Super Bowl success. And unfortunately, he can't do it by himself. That's where it's a team. It's a team. But here's the funny thing. Last year, the narrative was so, Dak Prescott, his interceptions. They literally had interception watches going on, the count of how many interceptions Dak Prescott threw in training camp. Right? Before the pads went on, this is what's funny. Before the pads went on, Dak had a couple of interceptions in practice. And within an hour, Shady McCoy is talking about Dak Prescott with interceptions. Oh, Dak Prescott's throwing interceptions. Oh, my God. Do you know that the Dallas Cowboys, I'm going by, I think Clarence Hill tweeted it. I don't know if it's true or not, but I believe it seems like it's true. That Dak Prescott, since the pads have gone on, doesn't have a single interception. But you ain't hearing that on the 4-letter networks, are you? And I'm going to tell you, Dak is out there being an assassin. Dak is out there totally focused. Watching him in passing drills and hitting guys left and right. The only thing that's going to screw this offense up is going to be Jerry and Stephen Jones. And if they don't get CD in here. You can listen to the pundits out there that are telling you, like, like Dan Salio telling you that Cowboys are going to be a 5-win team, or listen to the pundits that say that they don't have as much talent. Bro, what I saw from Jalen Tolbert, the way his body has evolved in the last 2 years, and the trust that Dak Prescott has with that guy, the thing that's so crazy to me is there's the Dak effect with receivers. You can trash them all you want, but you can look it up. Look it up. Dez Bryant. People say, oh, Dak's had all these great weapons. Dez Bryant was in the twilight of his career after he started having a bunch of injuries. But the crazy thing is Des Bryant averaged 14.1 yards per reception in his best season with Tony Romo. Would you believe he averaged 14.9 with Dak Prescott? Randall Cobb was left as roadkill. Oh, excuse me. Was left as roadkill from Green Bay because he was back in the 400 yards a year with Aaron frickin' Rodgers throwing to him. The Cowboys signed him, and most people said, why are we signing this over-the-hill, washed wide receiver? With Dak Prescott, he had the highest yards per completion of his career. 800 some odd yards. Signed a contract with the Texans for $25 million. And back to 400 yards. Goes back to Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. Still, back at 400 yards. Allen Hurns, again, another guy. Career highs as far as yards per completion. And you can go down the line and see how many of these receivers that Dak Prescott had do great things. Cedric Wilson can't get on the field except as a special teamer that he's worked with. Cole Beasley, he did pretty good with Buffalo. And Amari Cooper is still Amari Cooper. Maybe a San Francisco 49er, if you believe the rumors that Ayuk might be traded to Cleveland. I say all this to say everybody wants to give all the credit to everybody and none to Dak Prescott. They want to go ahead and just trash him. And, you know, it was right to say, well, he did have a lot of interceptions, even though he had the broken thumb and coming back from it. But when it's good stuff about Dak Prescott, no. So you got a guy who's not throwing interceptions in practice. You got a guy who led the NFL in touchdown passes with some of the fewest interceptions. You've had a guy who's had over 30 TD passes over 3 times in his career. You have a guy who almost every year of his career, they are one of the top teams in scoring. Yet somehow that guy is a bum and they need to blow it up. It's just kind of crazy to me. But he is out there, like I said, an assassin on the field. If they get CD in here, and this would be great to have, you know, Thursday, all eyes will be on the Cowboys. All eyes will be on the Cowboys because of the Rams practice, okay? That would be the day. That would be the day to announce that you got CD brought back, that you get the contract done with him. If you want publicity, that's really how you break the internet. The Rams practice, you know, that's 2 teams that have been hitting each other all preseason. It's nice to get some fresh meat to hit. That's going to be lively, and I can't wait for it. But seeing Dak, and this again, shout out to Law Nation who got me the pass there to get into rub elbows with the media. I didn't see Sean and RJ there though. I missed Sean and RJ. I was wanting to see them. I wanted to see them and tell them Cowboys Mafia is here, you know, the morons. But seeing Dak after practice, going over to the fans and signing autographs before time to lift weights, there with his wife and his beautiful daughter, MJ. That, my friends, is a guy you want to have on your team. If the Cowboys somehow fuck it up, okay? Somehow the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones fuck it up, and Dak Prescott goes elsewhere, I'm telling you, just like I told you, it's the perfect quarterback for the Cowboys, shit is going to be bad for a long time. Oxnard, I can see why the Cowboys come here. cool weather makes it easy to be able to practice and get in a lot of work. Oxnard is rapidly growing and now known as one of the great communities up and coming in the country. And I see every year it just changes and grows and evolves. But that out there, that's been happening for millions of years. And damn, it's beautiful. All right, good people. Today's another busy day, and we're going to get that content out to you guys. Whew. I am blessed to be here, even with the Joneses effing it up. Have a great day.